and then we're going to be diving into this amazing training. I'm super excited, by the way. Okay, let's see. Okay, I am live in the group, which is fantastic. I love that. Thank you everybody for jumping in today. Happy Tuesday. I personally can't believe that it's Tuesday. It feels more like a Friday to me because Monday was long, okay? Monday was long, but today's gonna be amazing and it's gonna be super exciting, and the training is going to literally blow your mind. So I will continue allowing people to jump in. If you are watching live in the group, if you want to jump into the Zoom, that will be even better because you will have the chance to ask some questions when we finalize this masterclass. And that is one of the most important parts, I think, of a masterclass and a live training is your opportunity to jump in and ask questions. So I am allowing a couple of more minutes for everybody to jump in on the link on Zoom. And we are about to dive into this really important topic today, which is so exciting. I mean, I think that the topic of going from undercharging, going from a position where you feel a little bit like about your numbers to going to a position where you're really satisfied with what you're making and your effort and your passion and who you are is being super awarded. And I feel like that's why we're here, right? In 2022, remember guys, when we started 2022, everybody was like, okay, this is my time, I'm gonna shine, and this is my year. So without any further delay, this is one thing about me, I start on time. So if you want to be a big player, if you want to be a winner, make sure you're on time because sometimes you might lose the chance, okay? So this is how today is gonna go. I'm gonna dive into the training, but for those of you who stay until the very end, you will have the chance to drop your questions. So I highly encourage you that right now you're 100% focused on what's gonna happen. This is one of the main things I'm gonna teach you, how to become laser focused. So I want you to be super present of what is going on. If there's someone distracting you right now, if the kids are around, if your pet is around, if your lover is around, make sure you chase them away. Focus, get something to write on. I always have my notes. As you can see, they're not super pretty, but I always have my notes as well. Make sure you take notes because at the end of this, I would love for you to ask some questions, okay? That's why we're here. This is an interactive masterclass. This is an interactive training, and that is the power of it, and that's why I love it. The reason why I do things like that is because there is power in asking the right question and getting the guidance. It can change so much. Let me tell you something. Last year, in October, I paid for 1 hour session $10,000 to have the chance to ask my questions, okay? I hired a business coach, and just for 1 hour, I have all my questions, and it was so much more powerful than any training, masterclass, or whatever, because I was so laser focused and I asked the questions that really changed the game for me. So I highly recommend right now for you to be prepared with questions. This is an intentional masterclass. So the second thing I will ask you is to set an intention, okay? I want you to really make notes, and I want you to be really intentional with what is happening, okay? What is your intention for this training? Let's collect ourselves now. What is your intention? You're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. You made the decision to book out this time slot, be with me, because you had an intention. And yes, the headline of the masterclass is going from undercharging to playing big in a short amount of time, because in my world, time is really a thing that I've learned how to manage. But I'm sure you have another intention. It could be a personal one. It could be you wanting to jump from 5 figures. It could be you wanting to go from 5 to 6 figures. It could be you scaling to 7 figures. It could be you getting more clarity. It could be you creating a brand and a business that you're truly proud of. Like, this is your work. This is your baby. This is your thing. Whatever that thing is, write it down. Intentions are so important. I had an intention for this masterclass. And my intention for this masterclass was to truly download extremely important and valuable information that will change things for you. So, why are we all here? We are all here because we want to go from undercharging. So potentially you are in a situation right now where you feel like you're doing a great job. You're amazing. You're an amazing human being. You're an amazing business owner. But for some reason, people are either saying, I can't afford you, or they're not jumping in and you're not very sure what the hell's going on. So you make a decision to drop your prices, or you have people constantly coming and renegotiating and creating these customized packages. Do you find yourself in that situation? Or you are in a situation where you're a little bit stagnant with your prices, with your the money that you collect every month. I've been there, and it was so flipping irritating for a high achiever like me. I've been in a stage 3 years ago where I was going to the 10K, 15K, 10K, 15K, 10K, 15K, nothing much. What the hell was going on? So if you are in a situation where you're hitting a certain amount of income in your business and for some reason you're not jumping, I'm happy you're here. Okay, I'm very happy you're here. You could also be here because you made the decision that 2022 is the year that you're really going to create impact and you're going to have a big, massive leap. Now, let me tell you something. You can really quickly jump between 10K months, okay? And even if you're not making that, to 50 and to 6-figure and to multiple 6-figure with the 7 steps that I'm going to be diving in today. So there's 3 kinds of entrepreneurs out there, 3 kinds of entrepreneurs. And I want you to think and listen carefully and identify where you are. So according to a lot of research and stats, there's different kind of entrepreneurs, but in my world, and I've been in the game for 12 years, I will give you my feedback, my background in a couple of minutes. But in my world, there's 3 kinds of entrepreneurs that I've worked with. And maybe you will identify yourself there. And that's very important to see where you are. Where are you right now? So you are either the kind of entrepreneur who is in stage 1. So stage 1 is the entrepreneur who is just starting. So you've been in the business for 1, 2 years, maybe 3, maybe. You're just starting. You are probably making 10K months or not, but you're close to it. You're just starting. You've just found yourself, okay, this is who I am. You have your bio. Guys, you know, I in the beginning, it was just terrifying to fit myself in 150 characters. I was like, no, I can't do that. Like, let me know if you are also struggling with that. Like, let me know if in the beginning, or even now, because I continue changing my bio and all that, it's shocking to fit yourself in 150 characters. It's unbelievable. So if you are in that stage right now, figuring out who you are, what makes you different, what makes you unique, if you are right now re-looking at your offers, you have been selling, but you have not positioned yourself right there when things are like falling like a domino effect. And let me tell you something, if you're there, don't worry, the domino effect is coming, okay? It is coming, because it was amazing when it happened for me. Great feeling. So let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat, let me know in the group, if you identify yourself, drop in the comments, one, if you are in stage one. So you're just starting, you're finding who you are, you're finding your voice, you're finding your audience, you're finding your pricing. So you're just in the stage of finding. Things are going, but you're still finding things. There is the second type of an entrepreneur who is in stage two, and just like the person in stage one, they are probably still undercharging big time. Stage one is the stage when you make a couple of mistakes with your prices, you're undercharging for a number of reasons. We will dive into that and we will find the remedy later on. So stage number two, let me know if you're in stage number two. Stage number two, and this is exactly where I was in the beginning of last year, stage number two. So for 2 years, and this is pretty much how it goes, for 2 years, you could be stuck in stage number one, where you're just discovering, you're finding out things. Okay, this is my niche. No, this is not my niche. This is my offer. No, this is not my offer. This is what works. No, this is not what works. Stage number two comes, it could come earlier, like after your first year, you can quickly jump into stage number two. But also, it is very normal to be in stage number two after the second year of your business. So this is the year where you already know, this is who I am, okay? I am this type and this type of coach, consultant, service provider, entrepreneur. This is my offer. This is what I do. This is my voice. This is how I operate, okay? So it's in stage number two, you are in scaling mode. Stage number one, you are in foundation mode. Stage number two, you are in scaling mode. So if anybody is watching right now and you identify yourself in stage number two, let me know, drop a 2. Again, it's super important to be honest with you and identify where you are in the journey. Are you stage one or stage number two? Now, stage number two is in a very delicate space of collapsing time, okay? This is the stage where all the background noise is not there anymore. Or, this isn't an ideal situation, but in stage number two, the noise is less. You're pretty much like, I know who the fuck I am, and I'm a badass bitch, and I'm gonna make this work. Watch. So things start to happen. Stage number 3 is the stage where I am currently in. I was in stage number 2 last year, the whole year. Phenomenal journey of going from 6 to 7 figures. Going from 6 to 7 figures is a very important stage in the business. It's a very, there's like a mental flip. It's like a switch. Literally, there's a switch that happens. And when that happens, things move fucking fast. So you better be prepared. That's why so many people say you should be a match for this outcome, because when it happens, whoa, it happens, okay? Stage number 3 is the stage, this is an entrepreneur who's already crushing it, okay? You're out there, people know you, people find you, people wanna work with you. So now you're scaling from 7 to 8 figures. So how do I know all that? Well, first of all, I know it. I don't know if you see me for the very first time. I don't know if you interact with me for the very, very, very first time, okay? But if that is what is happening, if that is the first time you see me, I know all that Not only because I've been in business for 5 years now, but also because my background, I come from a marketing agency, a super successful marketing agency, where I helped hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs. And coming from a space where you worked literally in the trenches, okay? So you were hustling, grinding hard with the clients. That's exactly what I've been. I've seen these 3 stages very clearly, and I have personally experienced these 3 stages with myself. So let me give you the background story. 12 years ago, I started being into the space of marketing, of social media, advertising, PR. I was a journalist and I loved what I was doing. I was so passionate about it. Like I was so passionate that I switched my love for marketing, writing, journalism. And I decided, hey, why don't I make a living out of that? Like, why don't I turn this into something more? And I'm pretty sure that you've been there as well. This is the story of every single entrepreneur in this world. They decide, there's one thing I love, and I love it so much. I'm going to make a living out of that. And that's exactly what happened 5 years ago. Before that, I was in the corporate world. And honestly, I was really enjoying it. I was enjoying it because, first of all, I was making really good money in my 20s. So that was really good. That was a lot of shoes and vacations and travels. I was living in a penthouse. It was really phenomenal. And I was super grateful for that. But most of the times, it was really annoying because I was predominantly in a room with old white men who are dictating the rules. And it didn't feel very comfortable. And I was like, I'm not making the impact. It's not happening. And then I made a decision that I can change that. And I did. And I opened my first video agency and I scaled it to 5 figures, super quick, consistent, multiple 5 figures. And that was great. Great news for me. But then what happened is that Fiverr came and my video agency was like, the competition on Fiverr is ridiculous. Like I can't charge anymore. What I'm charging for video editing, and if you know, I'm talking about professional video editing. I'm not talking about some Pokemon video editing. I'm talking about, I was working for National Geographic, that kind of video editing. So my company crashed. What did I do? Well, honestly, I didn't sob for a second. I was like, okay, this happened. What can I do? Well, I already had multiple clients in different areas. And I thought, why don't I start my marketing agency? So I didn't give up. I could have been like, I should probably go back to the corporate world, but I didn't because I knew I have all the tools to scale another agency. And thank God I did that. So I jumped into the marketing agency and I scaled it super, super fast. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, in the first 6 months, I had so much business that I was working 16 hours a day. And I was like, oh my God, okay, the game needs to change right now because it was ridiculous. So this is the time when real magic happened. Instead of freaking out, I did the right thing, a big, bold move of hiring more people, of getting serious, very serious in what I'm doing, and giving myself the commitment to scale even more. And that's what I did. And it was incredible because I had the opportunity not only to have a team of 10 people and manage them, but I also had the opportunity to work with hundreds of people and show them how, just like me, to stop fucking playing small. Okay. I'm here to give you this permission. And by the way, if you have been playing small, I want to tell you, hello, it's time to fucking stop. And I curse a lot. So apologies about that. But I give you the full permission right now to stop playing small. So today I have two good news for you. But I also have a really, really not so great news. Like one is bad news. The bad news, and I'm going to start with that, is that you have a problem. You have a problem. And well, we all have problems. We all have problems. But here's the thing, you do have a problem. What's the problem? Or if I should say, who's the problem? The problem is you. Yeah. You have one huge, massive problem right now in your business, and that problem is you. And the reason why you have been undercharging, the reason why you have not scaled to the space you want to be, doesn't matter if you want to make millions, doesn't matter if you're like, I'm comfortable with 20,000 a month, I'm comfortable with 10,000 a month, I'm comfortable with multiple six figures, doesn't matter. You have one problem, and that problem is you. Now, you might have heard, your problem is your energy, you're not embodying the energy, your problem is the mindset, your problem is the fact that you are not, your message is not the correct one, you're not using the right tools, and you don't have all the systems. And it's not that. You're the problem. And here's the two good news. Number one is that when you're the problem, it's very easy to solve because you're in full control. That's the great news. The second great news is that today I'm going to give you the 7 steps to solve this problem. So today I'm going to jump into, and that's why you're here, guys. I'm going to jump into my method that I use, and I promised you I'm going to give you things that I only give to my paid clients. Only my paid clients get this. This is my 7-step method, or we called it the A7. I like how it sounds. It sounds like an aircraft. And it is like an aircraft because I'm going to take you all the way up. Like, we're going to launch with this super powerfully, like a massive A7 craft. So it's A because of my name, Ayo, and it's 7 because it's 7 steps. So last year, in August, we hit 7 figures in the business, and that was my biggest obsession. I'm very honest with you, I was obsessed. It was like, this is somewhere I really want to get. And my clients knew my journey, and my clients were part of the journey. People were part of my journey, my family, my friends, everybody knew about that. Everybody, because I was so laser focused on this destination, one of the destinations. That is not the final destination for sure, but I was 100% living, breathing, and everything. So when that happened, you can imagine how many people were like, well, how did it happen, Ayo? How did it happen? What's the secret? In fact, if I could get paid every time people ask me, what's the secret? My least favorite word, secret. I hate that word. Probably I would have hit another 7 figures in 1 month, only because of the volume of people asking me, what's the secret? What's the secret? How did you do it? How did you do it? And my answer was always like, guys, it's not a secret, and it's not one thing. It's the compound of a few things. And I can't tell you the exact number, but there's certain things that I did. And keep in mind, I was tracking what I was doing so that I can repeat it. It's a recipe. And I'm going to give you the 7 ingredients. And here's the thing. You have heard this 1,000 times. The 7 steps, the 6 steps, the 5 steps to blah, 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 blah. What I'm going to give you today is not some thing that's going to go tomorrow. It has nothing to do with a platform. It has nothing to do with a specific offer, specific niche. And it has nothing to do with what stage you're in. When people ask me, what are your method? When can I implement it? I'm like, you can implement it in your entire journey, because these 7 things you will have to cultivate the whole time. So by now, I'm hoping that you're like, oh my God, what are these 7 things? I go, come on. What are these 7 things? I'm going to give it to you. I just have a little bit of water first. I'm getting hot now because I am really about to drop something huge. Because here's the thing. In all honesty now, just to digress a little bit, I fucking hate it when people are like, I made this and I made that and then you're like, how? And no one is really giving you the sauce. Like, you go on these trainings, you watch these lives, you watch everything, and then you're like, I still don't get it. Like, okay, I need to be in my energy, I need to embody this. I don't get it. How? I just don't get it. Well, pull your stretchy pants tight, hold them to your titties, and let's dive into that. So the number one thing in my journey, and the number one thing that so many successful entrepreneurs do in order to stop undercharging, is mastering leadership. And I want you to take notes. Leadership. Okay. It is so important to master leadership. It's so important to master your leading abilities, your ability to first and foremost lead yourself. Lead yourself through decisions. Lead yourself through your commitments. Lead yourself through accountability. This is the true space where self-mastery happens. And let me tell you something. Leadership is not something that we are all born with. They are true leaders. Like, they are leaders that are born, and they're born to be leaders. And that's the thing. They are leaders, and that's it. I'm like that. Like, my human design, I'm a reflector. Reflectors and projectors, if I have reflectors and projectors, they're true leaders. They're born with it. In my gene keys, same thing. Born like that. My natal chart, born like that. Born to be a leader. But what do you do if you're not a leader? Well, first and foremost, if you truly sit with yourself and you're like, I'm not really a compelling leader and I haven't mastered this, and you are an entrepreneur, we have a serious problem. We do have a very, very serious problem, because if you're not a leader, you don't have this skill, and it's a skill just like driving. So if you're not a leader, you're not 100% rooted in your leadership, you can cultivate it. But if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, and you're not a true leader, we have a really, really big problem. So right now, if you are thinking, the problem why I'm underpaid and I'm undercharging and people are not coming to me are my posts because they're not converting. It's not that. It's not your posts. It's not your messaging. It's not your reels. It's not your offer. It's none of this. Remember, I told you I'm going to give you the 20/80. So let's cut the bullshit. It's none of that. It's the fact you're not a compelling leader. And that hurts. I've seen people, entrepreneurs, business owners, and that is part of my ability as a reflector, by the way. And in my work with clients, I need to be very honest with them. When I see the way they behave and they show up, I can immediately say, are you a natural leader or are you not a natural leader? Okay. What is the issue with not being a leader? So in Path to Profit, my program, my signature program, Path to Profit, I open up Path to Profit with leadership. This is the first module because it is the foundation of everything. It's not your messaging, and I'm a marketer with 12 years experience. Guys, If I'm telling you that, it's not your messaging, it's not your copy, it's not your offer, it's not your funnel, it's not your email list, it's not your plan, it's not anything of that. It's the fact you're not a leader. What happens when you're not a compelling leader? When you're not a compelling leader, you're not convincing people. You can lead them, and especially if you're a coach, a mentor, and a service provider, you're going to lose people. And the biggest issue is that leadership is directly related to your self-awareness, your self-love, and your worthiness. So if you haven't cultivated leadership, there's a high chance that you are not fully into your self-confidence, your self-awareness, and your worthiness, okay? So what happens when that skill is not cultivated? Well, what I found out with my clients and what we find in Path to Profit in my program is that people who are not 100% leaders, this is what happens. They get lost into decision making because they're not a compelling leader. They can't make a decision. Should I do this? Should I launch like that? Should I do this? Should I work with this person? I'm not sure. Should I offer this? How should I offer it? What do you think I should do? What should be my headline? What should be this? What should I do with this? You're lost. You're just lost. It's not going to work because there's so much background noise happening in your head that you're just going to be like, you're everywhere. Another thing that happens, if you are not a compelling leader and your clients and prospects don't feel that, you're going to continuously fail on your sales goals or the way you show up because you're not able to communicate your value. Leaders communicate their value. Why? Because true leaders are fucking badasses. They're super confident. They know what they're doing. And because they're real leaders, they're not faking it. They're true leaders. They know they can lead you. So when you know that someone can lead you, what do? You relax, you trust them, and you follow them. People hire mentors, guides, and especially if you are a coach, a guide, a mentor, a consultant, healer, developing your leadership skills are so important because when you are 100% in your leadership, when you take 100% radical responsibility for everything, you fully and completely empower not only yourself, you empower your client. Because here's the thing, you can tell your client, most of the people that work with me because they know I'm a leader and they want to be in that space because I teach people by example. I don't teach people with my posts or with my lives. I teach them with my example, the way I lead myself. That security that you give your client with the ability of leadership is unbelievable. And here's the thing, business owners who manage leadership in the early stages of their business create powerful teams. If you are on this call right now, if you want to reach 6 or 7 figures, you will have to learn the ability to manage teams and people, because you won't be able to do it alone. Even if it's hiring one VA, I have 3 VAs. When I was managing 10 people in the team, that leadership skills were impeccable. And let me tell you something. I was seeing people crushing it when they nail only that leadership. Okay, not just embodying it, but truly stepping. You mastering leadership, it's going to change the game. And I see it for people in Path to Profit. What does it change in them? First and foremost, and even if you're not a leader, you can cultivate that. And I've done that with so many people. You will stop undercharging yourself. You will start showing up in a way that other people will see your value, because one of the main reasons I have identified when people say, I can't afford your prices, is the fact that they don't see your value. They don't see it. And it's okay. It's not very comfortable and it feels painful, especially for our ego, but they don't see the value. So when you change that, a lot of things will change, including the way you write, the way you show up, your messaging. A true leader knows how to navigate a team. Everything will start falling into its place. That's why leadership is the fundamental module in my programs. In Path to Profit, I teach leadership in all of my programs. It doesn't matter which program, doesn't matter where you jump in, but I teach leadership everywhere in my one-on-one containers and also in my programs. That's it. I'm going to give you an example. Last year, I hired an OBM and you know, an OBM is a manager. The OBM can either skyrocket your business or they can kill it. And if they're not a leader, shit will hit the fan. And that's exactly what happened. My OBM was not a leader. Okay. My co-founder was not a leader. My OBM was not a leader. And then me as a leader, I have to step in immediately. When you are a leader, you master emotional intelligence like that. You master responsibility like that. No one can take that away from you. Like, people can take away from you Instagram, they can take the reels off, they can take a lot of things. But when you master leadership, not really. And one of the smartest things to do in your business is to really hone on to your leadership, because it will also increase your LTV. So for those of you who are real business owners, I think you know what's an LTV. Lifetime value. Lifetime value is life changing. It means you will retain clients. If you're not retaining clients, if your people are not signing up again and again and again, and you have to really improve your game, your re-signing game. I have clients, 90% of my clients, if not even more, come back for more. In my agency, 3 years in a row, most of my clients are coming. So I'm not out there chasing people because I have reoccurring revenue, and I have people who they come in the container and the program, for example, Path to Profit. They see what I'm made of. They jump into a one-on-one container, they're mind blown, and they start buying this offer and this offer and this offer. Oh, let me come to your retreat. Let me do that. Oh, you have a special? Can I jump into the special? Oh, you started a mastermind? Can I jump into the mastermind? Lifetime value is huge. If you are not enrolling people to stay into your container, it means you're not a compelling leader. But that's easy to heal. You can absolutely heal that. You can absolutely cultivate leadership. And I saw it. I'm going to give you as an example, Gavin, who enrolled in Path to Profit. And Gavin was asking me, Ayo, what's the thing? Like, you need to give it to me right now. What's the thing? Is it the 5-day launch? And I'm like, huh? Is that what's going to get me clients? Is it the 5-day launch? I was like, no, not necessarily. Then he was like, okay, should I do master classes? And I'm like, not really. And he's like, okay, well, is my offer? Should I start doing a group? Is it my account? What is it? And I could see, and I knew Gavin from before that because he wanted to step into my offers for 2 years, but he didn't. And I told him straight in the face, it's because you're not a compelling leader and people feel it. You want to teach people how to change, transform, especially for those of you who are in the business of transformation, self-development, seeking a result, solution solving. If you can't convince a person that you are a compelling leader, you're done. You're fucked. You're going to be in the game for 1 or 2 years and then bye-bye, and that's it. Also, a compelling leader knows where you're going. You know where you're going, so you're prepared. You're just like, charge! And that's the energy. So the number one thing is being a leader, cultivating that skill. And if you are not like that, people will not gravitate towards you. People follow the leader. They do that. So are you a leader in your industry? Are you a leader in what you're doing? And if you're not, don't worry. It's easy to solve that. But you need to be, first of all, in the space of a mentor like me, for example, who is a leader, or you need to really start either reading books like that, getting into that, and in Path to Profit, week number 1, there is specific homework, questions, literature, books, and all my life experience of being a leader. And for those of you who know me, for those of you who personally know me, there's a few people on this call on the Zoom who personally know me. Boy, I love to lead. That's one of my favorite things. When people ask me, what's your hobby? To lead. I love leading. Number 2 is, okay, what did I do to stop undercharging and to get to a stage where I'm hitting my numbers? And not only that, but I'm really attracting premium clients, because that's the thing. You want to also start attracting premium people. Because clients who are not premium, and when I say premium, it's not only people who pay a lot of money, it's people who stay, who do the work. Oh, that's so important. People who fucking do the work, because you need to get results. And if they don't do the work, it's not going to happen. So how do you attract people like that? You attract them through cultivating skill number 2, communications. Skill number 2, communications. So that's another thing that I've cultivated. I don't know if you know, but my background is in communications. So I have 2 degrees, 2 bachelor degrees in communications and PR. And on top of all, I decided to do a master's degree in journalism because I know how important communications is. Communications is not only important for your business. Communications is important for your entire life because you are surrounded by people. When I asked one of my mentors who's making 8 figures, he told me, I asked him, okay, what's the secret? Okay, I asked him as well, what's the secret? I confess, I did it. Oops, I did it again. I did it. I asked him, what's the secret? And he told me, people. I was like, shit, people. You will be dealing with people all your life, everywhere. So again, before you start mastering your messaging, communications is different from messaging, content, writing, copywriting. It's 2 different things. Okay, let's get this very clear. Before you even think of, oh, let me try this method, let me try this launch method, oh, this launching plan sounds amazing. Are you a high-level communicator? Like, do you really know how to communicate? But honestly, do you really know how to communicate with your audience, with your clients? Like, do you understand the psychology behind communication? Do you communicate in a strong, powerful, empowering way? Is your communication so clear, digestible, or are you confusing people? So often, deals fall apart because of crappy communication. And let me tell you something, 100% of all relationships fall apart because of communications. That's it. Lack of communication. In fact, right now I'm in a beautiful relationship where we thought we've mastered communications, and this weekend we had a little bit of a situation and we were like, oh, we didn't master communication that well. Ooh, and we thought we were the best. So mastering communication is vital. So that's what I did last year. I really, first of all, guys, I started watching my lives, all of them, all my trainings, all of my sales calls, and that was so painful. That was so painful. Watching my sales calls, I was watching everything, and I had to see, how am I communicating? Am I clear? Am I precise? Am I making a clear point? Am I confusing people? Am I instilling trust when I communicate? And am I bringing up my truth in this process? My strengths? So what's happening in this process of communication? And communication is truly art. Truthfully, with mastering leadership, mastering communications is so powerful. It's huge, and you're going to be doing it all your life. You're going to be mastering communications. That is so important. How you communicate with your prospect. You're like, I don't know why they didn't buy. It didn't happen. Yeah. I don't know why. I'll tell you why. Your communication. There was something there. So for example, there are certain words, and that's why I teach my people in Path to Profit. You will be mind blown. For example, let me tell you just one example, and I'm going to give you that. This is a huge thing when I speak about communications. So on some of my deals, I still jump on sales calls. These are the really, really high ticket offers above 50,000 and long-term containers where I really want to fill the person. And specifically last year, when I was doing a lot of done for you, there were offers that were even higher. Like we had multiple six-figure offers. So I will jump on the call, we will have a conversation, everything's going to go well. And then I will say, perfect. So I'm going to send you the contract and you need to sign the contract after that and we can start. How does this sound? And then the person is like, oh yeah. And the energy changes in the room. I hope you're signing contracts, by the way, in your practice. And if you're not, please start doing that. So for some reason, I started noticing, and because I was watching some of my sales calls that were not as successful. By the way, I had 4 months of consecutive 100% close rate after I did that, after I watched every fucking sales call that failed. It's like a harakiri. Oh, super painful. But I saw that the energy changes when I say, I'm going to send you the contract and you're going to sign in. And then the person is like, and the energy changes and they start getting nervous. And then something happens, like I lose it. Have you been on a call or on a live or in a communication where you see yourself losing? It's slippery. It's like, going away, it's going away. And then I changed something. And instead of saying, so I'm going to send you the contract to sign it, which sounds like, even when I say it now, I'm like, oh my God, a contract? What's in the contract? I need to get my lawyer. My lawyer needs to see this. I don't like that. So I started saying, I'm going to send you the agreement. And once you sign the mutual agreement, we can proceed. Sure. Yeah, do that. Yeah, send that. One word, contract, agreement, contract, agreement. So communications is huge. Okay, I'm not here to beat around the bush and tell you that it's not important. Negotiations, how you persuade, your skills to speak your truth in a way that it really gets to people, it's art. And I love teaching people that. I love doing it. And I have really perfected this process. And here's the thing, there are steps. Again, you don't need to be born to be like that. There are steps. There's certain phrases that you use. They change the psychology of the entire conversation. It's so different how you communicate. I know right now that you can remember of situations where you were like, I don't know why this didn't happen. Or you posted something and again, it didn't work. It's a communication failure. Something happened. Something happened there. And in Path to Profit, I teach people how to really scrutinize their work, see what's missing, And can you see this little difference of the word contract? Agreement. Ding. That's how fast it works. Like, truthfully, that's how fast it changes. It's phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal how fast things can change within one simple switch. And it all has to do with your communication skills. The third thing, and they are super correlated, okay, to communications, is Your Majesty content. Yeah. Remember I told you the 20-80% thing? So I told you that I'm going to throw away all the bullshit and I'm going to keep 20%. In the 20% is your content. Content changes everything. Solid, good, quality content has to be prioritized above everything. So what happens is that your content is not doing you a favor. In fact, it works against you. And if you haven't mastered, by the way, leadership and communications, there's a high potential in the situation that you will not be able to master your content. It's not going to work. And I'm here sitting with 12 years of experience in copywriting, in National Geographic, in Vice, in Reuters, Microsoft, huge companies, where I tell you content fucking sells. And you probably know that. But you probably, and let me know in the comments, by the way, if you are of those entrepreneurs who are like, I'm putting something, but I'm getting likes and I'm getting shares maybe, but it's not converting into clients, or it's attracting the wrong clients. It's attracting the wrong people. I get this all the time. My content is not attracting the right people. Not the right people are not responding to my content. And I don't know what's the reason behind that. Well, I will tell you why. I'll tell you why right now. I'm going to break it to you. In the old way of doing marketing and sales, that's why, by the way, if you're part of my program, it's called Mindful Marketing, the new way of doing marketing. And I really, this is one of my missions, to just disrupt the old fucking way of doing marketing. The old way of doing marketing is what? Hone on to the pain. Speak about their pain, speak about their problems, speak about their issues. So when you do that, when you speak about their pain, when you speak about the issue all the time, when you're starting your thing with, maybe you're struggling with that, or you're using words that disempower the person who's buying, you attract victim clients. Whoa, that's the worst. I didn't know that last year, okay? So I had in my copy, and in the way that I was positioning my offers, I had huge mistakes, such as using words like, do you struggle? And of course, I will be attracting people who struggle. I wouldn't be attracting the premium client who's like, I'm not fucking struggling, I'm thriving, bitch. What are you talking about? You know, that's the kind of people you want to attract. You want to attract people who are not in their victimhood mentality, who are not soaking into fear and doubt, but you want to attract people who are like, okay, let's do this. Let's get to this, because that kind of a person, and I know that they are less, but they are there. That kind of a client is a premium client who's going to be in your container. They're going to stay in the container. They're going to pay you. They're going to be with you. They're going to be really into what you're doing, instead of attracting that mentality of like, yeah, I'm struggling again. I need someone to babysit me. And you're just like burping people. Have you been in that situation? Like, let me know if you've been in a situation. For those of you watching also in the group, let me know if you've been in a situation where you're literally babysitting your client. Do you know how much money you lose like that? For one client that you're babysitting, you're losing 5 clients who you will not babysit. Some victimhood mentality attracting these people who are like, are you struggling with this? Don't worry, we're gonna do this together. I'm gonna hold your hand and I'm gonna be there for you for every step of the journey. Well, congratulations, you just closed a fucking leech. Sorry to say that. I mean, with all respect to all the clients, but you've just attracted a person who is going to drain your fucking energy like a fucking vampire. And that happens. And I've been in that situation, and clients like that are clients from hell because you make the money, but you will never ever want to renew with these people. So forget about lifetime value, forget about your effort was just like, you know how it's like. So if I have right now coaches who are watching me, who are exercising, right? So those who are in the fitness journey, in the fitness industry, for those of you who are like pushing in the gym, and then you stop. Well, why was the effort for? Why did you do that? Why did you push so much, right? So what happens in that stage is that people who are like, yeah. So I got a by the way, one message that I want to address. So Cynthia is saying, my clients are so easy. I feel like they don't need me and won't continue working with me. Well, Cynthia, I don't know if you were in the beginning when I was speaking about leadership. When a person truly sees you as their mentor, when a person really sees your value, they will continue working. If they stop working and they think that I got it all sorted, most of the time it's not that, it's something else. They're not getting something into their relationship. And by the way, I will address that. And step number 4, which is coming in a bit. So your content is so important. Like, you literally imprint things in the head. This is a fucking stranger who doesn't know you. They read a post, they read the content, they feel your energy. Words have energy. So if they're just reading the post, you're transmitting energy through words. You're materializing your energy through words. What words are you choosing? Are you super careful? Like when I switched the words that I'm using, oh my God, not to mention my engagement, not to mention people saving. Do you track, by the way, on Instagram who saves your things? If you don't, right now, go and do that. Like, switch your account. If you're a business owner, switch your account to professional, not a personal account, please. So you can track who is saving your content. That's so important. It means you've done a good job when people start saving your stuff to read later on. Mastering your words, becoming a wordsmith so that you can convey your message of your true self, okay? And your ability to serve people. So you convey that through your words is your superpower. It absolutely is. Let me tell you something. It takes one post, one live, one training for someone to see that, read the right words, and jump into your container. It happened 1,000 times with me. In fact, one of my most successful launches, I had 21 complete strangers jumped after one training like that because of the words that I was using, because of the fact I was empowering them through the whole training. So much changed. You want to start preparing your prospect before they start working with you and make sure that they're prepared for success. So the way to do that is to have content that does that. And if you can't do it, it's so easy to get trained how to do that. And in Path to Profit, I do that in week number 3. It's all about that. It's all about your words pulling people like a magnet. It's all about empowering your audience, not putting them down, because you need to empower them to make the decision. You're not empowering people to go and face their problems and the world is beautiful and I love you and it's going to be amazing. You empower people to work with you. A lot of people are not closing and continuing because you're not empowering people to work with you. You missed the point. Okay, the point is to work with you. It's not just to write beautiful words. And I will show you how to do that. And I will show you also how to position your way into such a state that they do want to work with you. They understand that your support and you continuing supporting them is so important. And that formula that I have has a lot to do, again, with leadership skills, communication skills, psychology, knowing people, knowing what do you need to say. It has nothing to do with manipulation. Your role as a business owner is to empower people to make the decision to work with you. That's it. You master that, you don't fucking need anything. You're invincible. Okay, if you master that one sentence, which I just said, and I hope you wrote it down because I forgot it. I honestly did. But that one sentence is super powerful. And now just to get back and revert to the question, step number 4 is your offers. Okay. Oh my God. Sometimes I just want to hold a 1 minute and just say rest in peace to all the amazing offers that could have been created, but they were fucking ruined because you worked with an amateur, with a person who told you to meditate on your offers, let alone masturbate, because I know there's people like that, or offers that never came to be. You just left an idea like that. So they just keep 3 seconds. Rest in peace to all these offers. What I see, and what was also, oh my God, that was a huge roadblock in my journey, is let me just price this 111 because it's a cute angel number and everybody is doing it. So I wasn't mindful how I'm pricing my things. I 100% agree. You should have an energetic match with how much you price, because I've been in situations when I train my people for a sales call to pitch a certain amount of money, and it doesn't work, and it doesn't work, and it doesn't work, and it's worse, and it's getting worse. Like I had one person who was supposed to pitch 25,000 for the deal, and they were not ready, and eventually they cried on the call when they were pitching. So that was not very cool. But when you create your offers, it's so important to know how to price them, how to package them, how to sell them, how to become a great investment for your client. Have you thought about that? Have you thought, well, I'm really good fucking investment. Not only that's my value and this is who I am and I'm a fucking badass. Okay, but are you a good investment? Because from my corporate experience, and this is what I speak from a corporate experience, if you're not a good investment, they're not going to renew with you. You might be the greatest thing on earth. Like I had in my agency, when we were running ads, for example, and the ads were not performing, I'm a great person. Don't get me wrong. I'm amazing, but the ads are not performing for some reasons. And there's always different reasons, by the way. Why the hell would you continue paying me? There's no, like, I am an expense. I'm not an investment. I'm not a great investment. Oh, and that's painful, okay? At the end of the day, you want to sell something which is like, whoa, because every shit don't sell like hotcakes. And I'm going to tell you why. In 2020, I had one of my first coaching containers, and it was called Get Clients Now. And it was specifically teaching people how to get clients in Facebook groups. And it was very successful because, by the way, we crushed it in groups. Facebook groups, remember back in the days, Facebook groups were huge. And we were one of the first, by the way, we were one of the first to crush monetizing our Facebook group and other Facebook groups. Like we were huge in that. But it was an offer that was very much relying on something outside of us, which is Facebook groups. So I see a lot of offers designed in a way that their lifetime is me, right? You are not average. Think about that. Your offers should not be average. The people you look up to, you look at their offers and you're just like, well, damn, I wish I created something like that. And I get that so funny when people work with me in Voxer, for example, whenever I drop something or a master class or anything, and my clients are like, damn, I wish I came up with this idea first. I've been in situations where my clients will come up with an idea. No joke, like this happened with one of my one-on-one clients, Paula. And she was like, I'm going to start running this program and it's going to be called Money Magic. And I really want to do it because it sounds so good. And I'm going to do this and this and this. And I'm like, Paula, I launched this a couple of weeks ago. And she's like, oh my God, I saw it from you. It was so good. And I'm like, okay. So you want to have people that react like that to your offers. But you also want to have, and that's what I'm teaching in Passive Profit, how to create a business suite. So answering your question, Cynthia, when a person is like, well, I'm done working with you, what's the next step? Do you have a business suite that secures that transition? Because here's the truth, people might come once, twice. I have people who have enrolled 3 times in Path to Profit. No joke, 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. They're just like, that's amazing, that's amazing, that's amazing. I want to be there, I want to be there, I want to be there. But I also have people who are like, well, what do I do after that? I'm not sure. And I'm like, well, we can do this, or this. What do you choose? Oh my God, this is so amazing. That's why I call it my candy shop, because you have so many opportunities to choose. So the question is, do you create offers? Is your business model created in a way that people can choose from different ways? Is it? Which brings me to step number 5 in my A7 method, is really looking at your sales and your funnels. So, okay, lately there has been a lot of conversation in the internet space. You don't need a funnel. I don't have an even complicated funnel. I don't have a complicated sales process. Yes, congratulations, you will survive for 3 to 5 years. Then you won't, because you will not be able to sustain that. If you don't have a sales funnel, sales process, I'm going to give you a very easy example. Last year in December, I got COVID and I was completely out for a month. I could not exist, let alone show up, post, prospect, DM, continue being out there. I couldn't. And if I didn't have a simple funnel in place, if I didn't have a structure, a sales structure, so you might not have the most complicated and fancy funnel. In fact, don't, because fancy, complicated funnels are complicated, okay? Simplifying is number 1 thing in my world. Simplify, that's why I said 20, 80%, but you do need a funnel. And here's the thing. If you don't know how to build that funnel, better get someone who knows how to do it. So in week number 5, that's exactly what I'm working on. And as you can see, it was like gradual. Leadership, communications, content. Okay, you're ready now. You're ready to fly now. Offer, funnel, sales process. Why do you want to have that? You want to have that because I'm going to ask you something. Why the hell are you an entrepreneur wasting your time if you're not building something that's going to be sustainable? Might as well get a 9-to-5 job. It's much easier. Building a business is not as easy as being in the corporate world, especially in the beginning. So the sooner you create a funnel that is tested and works, and you know this is working. Yeah, this thing is working. I know it works. Let's do this. So that is so important to have. And right now, if you are in a situation that you're not producing consistent passive income, or an income that is a reoccurring revenue from master classes that you can sell, from paid memberships, it's time to change that, because a funnel can make your financial dreams a reality. You need a business model. So this is where we jump from the woo-woo and the mindset and all the energy and all that. you do need a business model that can support your desired financial outcome. So a couple of weeks ago, I was working with one of my one-on-one clients on her business model to generate 3 million this year. And when we were going through the numbers and through her entire funnel, she has multiple funnels, I realized it will not happen. And she was like, what? And I had to tell her, Karen, that will not work. And I'm sorry, but it's not going to work. Your funnels are not sustaining this. It doesn't make sense. Your upsells don't make sense. And I understand that it shouldn't always make sense. But if you don't have even one funnel that could financially be predictable, it's going to be always a game of running and chasing things. Here's the thing though, you need a sales funnel and a process and a sales process. So a sales process is also how you launch. Oh my God, so many people are traumatized from launching. I've been traumatized. I hate the 5-day challenge, the 3-day boot camp, and the 7-day and the 21-day, whatever. It's stressing me out. I don't do it. In fact, I've hit 1 million without that. When I was doing that, I wasn't doing it. Okay, it wasn't happening because my energy was so drained. So you need to find a model and a strategy that is aligned with your energy. Okay, that is imperative because you will not continue doing that thing. You will just drop it. I've dropped 1,000 times something. I've dropped it so many freaking times because of that, because I could not sustain it. And it's so important to get a mentor, get a coach, or be in a container that navigates you to choose this feels right. Hey, why don't you choose that? Hey, why don't you try that? I think this is better for you. Okay. So important. Which brings me to what made a difference in my life last year. It was being extremely firm with, this is not how I'm going to launch. This is not how I'm going to do it. And this is not my system and the funnel that I want to follow because it's not working for me. And just because someone told me, just because a coach told me how to do it. No. So I know how it works. I know very well how this works and how important it is to have a model that your soul is just like, this makes me feel really good. But at the same time, it's also predictable because if I didn't have my funnel and my strategy when I got COVID and I was 1 month out, I would have probably collapsed the business and I had 10 people to pay. You know how much expense that is? Thank God I had that. Same thing. So that was in 2020 when I got COVID. And then last year, because I had a funnel, because I had a structure, because I had a system, I could go 3 months on vacation in Costa Rica. I didn't do shit. I didn't do anything. I was just relaxing and I was building my other 2 businesses. Okay. I don't know if you know, but I also run 2 other businesses with this one, 2 other businesses. So I had the freedom because there was a sales system, there was a process, there was a model that was allowing me to go and spend time in the other things. Your most valuable and important thing is your time, which brings me to point number 6. And for a lot of people right now, with all the coaching, which I call COVID coaching because it appeared like a lot of coaches came with COVID. But those of us who are really rooted into business coaching, and we've done this and we know how it works, there's one thing that, yes, you do need to sit back and relax and be in your feminine. By all means, you can't constantly hustle. You can't constantly do. Especially if you are a projector. Check your human design. Projectors, perfectors, they need to relax. But inspired action is so important. Act upon a hunch. This is what happened to me. It was so crazy last year. I will literally sit and I will get a massage and I will get an inspiration. You need to go and do that. And I'll be like, what? And I will go and do it, and boom, something will happen. Act upon a hunch. For example, my latest hunch was for my birthday. I was living my best life and it was amazing. And I was just like, I'm just going to celebrate today. I'm not going to do shit. I'm just going to, try my new underwear because I ordered this really, really overpriced underwear. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to have fun. And then something told me, go with this crazy offer and blow it out and see what will happen. And I generated from a tiny little offer, which I just dropped 3 posts only. One on my Instagram, one in my group, one on the Facebook. Oh, I also had an email. Yeah, there was an email, but the email was copy paste of the post. $8,200 in 24 hours from a tiny little offer. I didn't move my ass and it happened. Jessica, thank you so much for all the hearts. I made it. Jess knows I was very sick yesterday. Can you guys tell this? I was almost dying yesterday. I was so sick, but look at me right now, living my best life with you. Inspired action is so important. So whenever you feel something, a lot of people are just like, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And they never do it. I'm going to do it the next day. And they never do it. I'm going to do it then. And they never do it. You need someone to kick your ass when that happens. Okay. So I am known in the space of, I'm on your fucking back. And one thing that makes my program and the way I work so different is that I'm truly, truly into working with my people. So I am into the process. I care what's happening. We have personal conversations. I keep you accountable, which is so important. You do need to have a person who's keeping you accountable. And you do also need to have a person who's telling you when you start chasing, it's called the shiny syndrome, the shiny object syndrome. So when you start chasing all these shiny things, you need a person to tell you, hey, wait a minute. Okay, wait a second. So many amazing ideas died because there was no inspired action. If I had to wait, and that was one thing that was slowing me last year so much. I was waiting for the perfect moment, perfect landing page, perfect sequence, perfect stories. No, we can't go because the sales page is not ready and this is not done and the email sequence is not completed and this is not done. And the reason why I was slowing myself so much was because I was waiting and waiting and waiting for so many things instead of just pivot. And when I got myself free from that, so I stopped listening to people who are telling me, no, don't do that now. So many things changed. I had so many great ideas and offers that just came into my mind and I was like, let's go. Same with Path to Profit, the first launch. I don't know if you know that. The first launch of Path to Profit, my signature program, had no landing page. I didn't announce it anywhere. I just sent it to 100 hot leads. 100 hot leads. Okay. I sent my offer of this is what's going to happen. This is the masterclass that I'm going to have. And then on a call like that, I closed 31 people without a sales page, without anything. No, I didn't have a post. Ladies and gentlemen, there was not even a post, nothing. But I knew I had to do it. Like I had the feeling I had to do it. I had the feeling this is a good idea. I had the feeling I need to go and do that. And I knew I shouldn't waste more time. Boom. Again, true leader. A leader will do that. Okay? Inspired, aligned action is so important. So important. And then the last step. So for those of you who are still here taking notes, you're the real MVPs. You are the people who are going to scale your business. Okay? Because you're not fucking rushing in. So many people rush this process. So many people want to get, okay, I want to get it now and I want to do it and that's it. Well, it took me 17 months to scale to 7 figures. And before that, I was in business for 3-4 years. That's the truth. And a lot of the mentors that we follow, some are in the game for 20 years. So for those of you who stayed until the very end, the last element to change all that, all the stories, that game for you and everything. And the last element that I teach in Path for Profit, it's almost like circling back to leadership, is embodying the energy of fully and 100% stepping into your I am. Okay. It's fully embracing and embodying your future self. I want to have a very honest share with you right now. Last year, before I hit the 7-figure mark, I had a conversation with a client. Her name is Sophie, and she's probably watching. She said she's going to watch the replay. So I was having a conversation and I was like, Sophie, this is really something that I want to do. Sophie is a PGI consultant. She works for Bob Proctor. And we were talking about self-image and we were talking about, making millions and having a very successful, impactful business. And I was sharing my story and she was just listening. And she told me, Ayo, are you truly living through your future self? Because it feels to me that you're living in the past. And I was like, whoa, are you kidding me? I never thought about that. And I had to sit with the stories in my head. And it's going to get even more personal. I had very difficult childhood, and all of us, we had difficult moments. I had a difficult childhood because my father passed away when I was 12. And then I had to grow up at a very early stage. I had to lead, I had to be strong, I had to be powerful for everybody, and I had to make a difference at just being 12. And as a result, there was a lot of moments in my life that I had to pull the strings for everybody and I had to carry everybody. And that requires a lot of power. And sometimes when you're a very strong human being, it's almost like the universe sends you people who really need you. They're going through something. And sometimes these people hurt you because in their journey of weakness, they kind of like hang on to your power. And I understood that being in that story of this is what happened and my childhood was not easy and I always had to fight for what is mine is not serving the Empress. So I have another program, it's called, by the way, The Empress. I had to empower that version of me. And I've always been, my social handles for a decade have been the Empress of marketing. But I was not the Empress. I was the warrioress. I was the warrior type of a woman who's always fighting. And I wasn't stepping into my future self. I wasn't operating from that woman, from that force that I can truthfully achieve the seemingly impossible. When you embody the energy of that superhero who you are, things really change in your business, okay? And not only in your business, the dynamics of your life change so much. So if you allow me to recap the journey, the path to profit, if you've been wondering, what's the secret? What's the path? What's gonna get me there? It takes 7 weeks. It doesn't have to take you forever because these 7 elements can be mastered in 7 weeks. If you don't call this a quantum jump, I don't know what it is. But 7 weeks to master leadership, communications, content, having the perfect offer, having the right system, taking aligned action, and truly finding yourself. And so many people who have been part of Path to Profit, if there was one thing I wanted to get from that experience, from this life, was what they said. This is so much more than just a program. And this is so much more than just making money. It's about who I am and who I am becoming. And that is priceless. And I truly, truly believe that there is so much power in a human being that walks the path to themselves. Not so much the path to profit, but the path to themselves. And whoever walks that path to themselves walks the path to profit. And here's the thing, walking it alone will not get you there faster. I can reassure you that, because I wasn't alone. I had help. So besides these 7 elements, I had mentors, I had coaches, I was in multiple programs. I was constantly being supported from people. That's what, remember what I said in the beginning of the training? People make a difference in your life. So if right now you feel that, if right now you're like, oh my God, that's exactly what I was looking for. I'm dropping an amazing offer. I'm going to drop it in the chat, and later on, I'm going to drop it in my group. And also I'm going to drop it in the emails as well and everywhere. Path to Profit, the 4th round, it's opened for enrollment. And right now, for all of you, in the following 72 hours, yes, until the 16th, you get into Path to Profit for half the price that it normally is. So right now, Path to Profit for these 7 incredible weeks is only $1,200. $1,200. If you pay full in cash, it's getting better. You're gonna get a one-on-one call with me, which is so powerful. Last year, as I told you, I spent $10,000 for a coaching call that changed my world. You're gonna get it for free if you pay in full. Right now, this offer will never ever exist. This program will never ever be $1,200. You have the link, by the way, the original link to the sales page, so you can go and check it out. You can see the price is different. So I will highly encourage you, for those of you who are still in the chat, for those of you who are still in the group and watching me live, use these links here given to you, because they're the direct payment plans. You will not be able to find these links anywhere else. So for those of you who pay, you have 2 options. You have the option to jump in and pay in full $1,200 and get the one-on-one support with me, but you also have the option to have a payment plan of 3 options to jump in the container, 3 really amazing payments of about $400 and something, which is super affordable. And this offer, again, will never, ever, ever happen again. So if you felt that all these points were like, oh my God, that's exactly what I want. If you felt like, I want to be in that space, I want to be in a space where I can really get into my leadership skills, I want to be in a space that I am compelling communicator, I want to be in the space where my content is badass, I want to be in a space where my offers make sense, and I'm not just selling something that no one needs. You need someone to be there and support you. Okay, which are the best, offers that you can have? You want to be in a space where you have a business model that supports you and it's not like you're draining you. You want to be surrounded by people who see that and who, by the way, are so tapped in as well. All of my containers, and by the way, I keep my groups small. So for every round of Path to Profit, my groups are about maximum 10 people, and I have multiple groups because I want to give you a really special, customized experience. That's why the success rate is so high. If you go and you check anywhere my testimonials, the people that I work with, the reason why they make it is because it's so customized for them, because you can't take someone and put them in the box and be like, it's gonna work, okay? You need that touch, okay? So you have the 3 links right there. You have the PIF and you have the payment plan. This is going to be available for 2 days only. So for those of you who watch the replay, I know that a lot of people said that they're going to watch the replay, but those of you watching the replay, this offer is going to go on the 16th. It's not going to be there, and then the program is going to be back to $2,900 for this round. Every round the price goes up. Of course, I mean, the value is fucking incredible. If I can give you so much value on a free call, imagine what will happen into the container. So if you have any questions right now, for those of you watching live on Zoom or in the chat, I'm going to choose one question. Let me see what's going on in the group. Well, quite a lot of going on. So many. Good God. Okay. Let's choose one question. Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity to ask a question and make it a really good one, because let me drop that. Because you will have the chance to get an answer, which is so big. So let me know if you have any questions right now for your business, which are so like burning questions. Let's see the chat here. Okay, so I have a question, which is super powerful question. And the question is, I have a sales page, I have a business model, and I have everything, but it seems like people are not seeing my content, and that's huge. There's so many people coming to me who are like, I'm putting all this effort, I'm putting all this content, and it feels like nobody is seeing my content. Well, the reason why this is happening is most probably the content that you create is not producing enough engagement. So people are not reacting, people are not clicking, people are not sharing. And the algorithm is working in a way that it's not distributing, it's not showing your content to people. How do you remedy that? And I've been in situations with clients, with myself, where people are not seeing it. They're just not seeing my content. Something is happening. And by the way, I don't know if you're tracking your stats. I hope you're tracking your stats, because if you're not doing that, how do you know people are not seeing your stuff? I've been in situations where people tell me, people don't see my stuff. And then we see that people actually do open. There's a high click-through rate. People do open and click on the sales page, but the sales page is not compelling enough and it's not working. So again, both of the situations, if the algorithm is not working, if they're not engaging, means your content is not engaging. You have to also have content that provokes people to like, share, and save. Whether if it's on Instagram, whether if it's on Facebook, whatever it is, if it's not there, people will not engage with your content. So you're directly telling Facebook or Instagram, you're not interesting, and they will not push your content, okay? Anya says she also has a question. Okay, last question from Anya. Anya, are you gonna drop it? Okay, there we go. So Anya says, I just feel like I'm in that space between charging low middle range prices and feeling limiting beliefs that I will be able to fill a program with a high ticket, okay, and feel exhausted about the idea of doing a big program for a few people. I'm a projector. Yes, projector. I don't know if you caught me. Yes, you do need to be careful with your energy. That's not a question. Yes, that's a sharing. So I'm not sure what your question is. So there should be a clear question. So for those of you who are in a stage of having low offers that don't really fill in the bank and it's not working, you need more people to fill up a program to produce more money. Okay, so if you're a projector, if you are in a space where you need to save your energy, you definitely have to work with less people, with higher prices. That's what you have to do. You're not supposed to work with a huge group and charge low price and just to attract people and have 1,000 people. You need a smaller container with premium clients. I don't know when you jumped on this call, but I highly recommend you go through the whole thing. Projectors, you have to work with less people. This is so important, right? More people, not going to work for you. Less in terms of amount, better. Better quality, even better. Quality is so important. So I hope that this training was super powerful. I hope that you love this training. You have 72 hours to jump in this limited offer, which is only available right now for this launch. It will never, ever be available again. Never again. 72 hours. You have the links. I'm going to send the links also to you so you can jump in this container. I hope this was super powerful. And in fact, I don't hope. I know this was super powerful. I truly enjoyed it. That was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me. If you want to jump into the container, we start in July. So make sure that you reserve your early bird spot. I'm going to see you soon. Bye.